Hey, fellow freaksters, it's Tim from the Moratorium. Just here to remind you that if you enjoy what you hear, please like, share, and subscribe, then rinse and repeat. We're just a couple of small-town nerds trying to make sweet geek love to your ear holes, and we could use your support. Check out our website for movie reviews, links to social media, merch, movies, and more. You can find us at themoratorium.com. Now that that's out of the way, on with the shenanigans.
One Christmas Eve on the Moratorium cast, the crew was all laughing and having a blast, when all of a sudden there arose such a clatter. Jason pointed and cackled at all the blood splatter. Tim ran to the scene with a large fire axe. A fat man in red had fallen on his ass. He rolled to his side and cried wildly in pain. "You booby-trapped the chimney. Have you both gone insane?" We glared at each other and agreed maybe so. But one thing's for certain, it's your time to go. Tim reared back the axe and swung with his might. The fat man doth screamed with all of his fright. The ending is grim, as you probably know, as Santa's last words were ho, ho, holy crap. It's another movie marathon. Welcome to the Christmas Carnage 2020. We've sharpened our harpoons and reeled in some tasty Christmas slashers. Cue the music.
Yeah, they're dead. They're all messed up.
And now for our lesson.
Well, here we are again.
We need to do some vocal exercises.
Oh, yeah? What do you suggest?
I don't know. I don't know any. I mean, I think you just say words.
Is there like some calisthenics that you can do for your throat muscles? You know, it's like,
Yes, but
what do they call that? That throat singing or whatever?
yeah, that the inward singing. Is that what it is? Where you can like actually vocalize while you're breathing in?
Is that it? No, I can't do that.
I don't want to be.
That just sounds like me breathing.
That actually kind of hurt my throat listening to you a little bit. I think now we're getting into weird like sting tantric sex stuff now.
Is that it?
I don't want to be crude or anything, but that's how he eats pussy for so long, is he has that inward, he can do it. He's like scuba diving.
Okay.
Cut all that out.
Can you get the bends from sex?
I mean, you know what? I just think we should stop talking about this right now.
Do we need to have a disclaimer?
For sensitive ears? Is that what you mean?
I don't know. Just any kind of disclaimer. If you are easily bored, please turn off now.
Yes. Please return unused portion of podcast for a full refund.
To hear more, press 1 now.
You do that pretty good.
You like that?
Mm-hmm.
I know we were coming up with the like horror movie bingo cards.
Yes.
I was working on something that was like maybe a fantasy football league for horror movies.
There's got to be something like that out there.
Yeah.
Someone must have thought of this, but that is a great idea. Well, there's a podcast that did, Bond movie, fantasy.
Mm-hmm. The villains, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
And they were able to, I don't know if there's a winner or a loser, I guess is what I'm trying to say. I don't know how you would score that.
In our situation, everybody's a loser.
Yeah, I guess that's true.
Yeah.
Well, you're either a victim or a killer, I guess.
And if you're listening to this podcast,
well, wait a minute.
You're a victim.
Wait a minute. I mean, yeah, for multiple reasons. But, you'd have final girls versus killers and, oh man, we got to do this. Or at least speculate about it at length.
Give somebody the idea so they can do all the work for us.
That's probably
and then give us credit for the idea.
Let's be real. That's probably what's going to happen.
Well, all right. Let's go ahead and start this little bitch off with saying welcome to a special edition of the Moratorium.
It's special because you called it a little bitch.
Oh,
Are you going to make this podcast your little bitch?
I think it already is. I think it's made me its bitch.
Yeah,
really.
That's true.
That's in all reality.
Chained to a computer, just editing all day.
Yeah.
I feel sorry for you. But then again, it's like, well, at least I'm not that guy, you know? I'm sorry, I was trying to make you feel better.
You're the other guy.
I think it made you feel worse.
All right. Well, I'm Tim Kornman, and with me, as always, is my asshole partner.
Look, I wasn't trying to be an asshole. My name's Jason Walker. I wasn't trying to be an asshole.
No, it comes naturally.
It's just the reality, you know?
Yeah. Reality is my eyes are sagging.
Yeah.
I need a full facelift.
Have a intense eye strain headache.
I have the inability for facial expressions.
That actually would work out pretty good.
You think?
Well, I mean, like if you committed a crime and like we're being, questioned or something, you just keep a complete poker face. Like, damn, this guy's good.
With the state of the world right now and wearing a mask at all periods.
That's true.
We are very devoid of facial expressions right now.
I have thought many times while I'm at my while I'm at work, I'm glad this person can't see what my face is doing right now. I'm sticking my tongue out at them.
I'm growling at this person, and they just think I'm smiling because I'm constantly squinting.
I found Cheeto dust in my mask the other day because I was eating. I had to wash it.
A little pouch of Cheetos within the mask, and just...
Tim, stop talking. We're doing... delete that. Edit that. It's a damn good idea. It's like a, it's like a oats bag that you'd put on a horse.
That's right.
So...
The special edition of the Moratorium, what are we calling this?
Xmas with like 2 knives.
Ooh, I dig that.
Actually, I think they did that on the cover of the remake of Black Christmas.
Okay.
Which sucked ass.
Which one? Was there 2 remakes of Black Christmas?
I don't think so. I think there's just the one in like 2000 and...
Was it 2009?
Yeah, 2009.
Okay. All right, because I came across another... Well, we'll get into it,
okay.
But I came across a couple of things.
Okay.
I was dubbing this as Christmas Carnage.
Oh, yeah, I forgot about that. I like that one too.
So I'm really getting some good ideas for making a T-shirt. So you continue talking. I'm going to create a T-shirt
while we're doing the podcast.
Yeah, I think I can do this.
I'll just vamp for a little bit. So I think we both kind of decided that we were just going to watch, we weren't going to settle on one particular movie. We were just going to see, I did not realize how many Christmas themed horror movies there are now.
Mm-hmm.
Because they make so many of those little straight to video ones. I mean, it was kind of hard to narrow it down, and, most of them are awful. But
yeah, I will agree.
But that's why I was like, okay, there has been so much said about Black Christmas. Everybody agrees that it is pretty much the holiday horror movie, or the Christmas horror movie. Don't you think?
Black Christmas?
Yes, the original.
Yeah, I would think so. But hey, dude, I'm just looking here. There is a 2019 version of Black Christmas.
Well, they called it Black Xmas, I think is what gave me that. I don't know how it's like written out, but it seems like on the... Oh, okay.
Yeah, this is a group of female students are stalked by a stranger during the Christmas break.
Yeah.
This is until the young sorority pledges discover that the killer is a part of an underground college conspiracy. 2019, and that's starring Imogene Poots.
Her name makes me laugh. Well, then I'm looking at a completely different one. I'm confused now. One is a remake. It's the girls at the sorority during Christmas break, and a guy is like in the house. But now I'm looking at this one and like the one that I watched just a little bit of, you literally could take the wigs off of the girls and just swap them around and you would have no idea which girl is which.
Awesome.
They're all completely interchangeable.
And that's 2006's Black Christmas, right?
Okay.
And that one actually says Black Xmas.
Yeah. Although Mary Elizabeth Winstead is in that. I love her.
Yes. I totally love her. I have not seen either one of these latest ones.
Oh, man. Tara Reid's in that one. That's the real horror story. Okay. Yeah. And this just has way too much story. And because I did watch a little bit of it. Like I said, I did watch a tiny bit of this and I'm still confused because they're basically, it's just basically all the same thing.
Which the original Black Christmas, 1974, had Olivia Hussey,
Yes.
Margot Kidder,
Yes.
John Saxon,
Yep.
John Saxon,
Snack.
Art Hindle,
Did you call him John Snaxton?
Snaxon.
He should bring out his own line of Doritos.
I think so. That'd be awesome.
Hi, I'm John Snaxton. Cut.
And he died this year. We knew that, right?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Man, he was great as every cop in every movie. He's a cop in Black Christmas. He just knows how to answer a phone well. You know what I mean? You just kind of rip it off the thing and doesn't even say hi. He's like, okay, what do you got? I admire that.
I was just looking at Art Hindle today, too.
Yeah,
because
I was too.
I've got some connection going back to The Brood.
Canadian connections?
Canadian connection.
Let's do a Canadian connection corner.
The CCC.
Yes, I'm glad you didn't say. I thought you were going to.
Do you want me to sing that? Canadian Connection Corner.
I love that. Also, Andrea Martin is in Black Christmas. Okay, so that is what was blowing my mind can we just start talking, or do you have a...
Oh, I'm sorry. Are we just now starting to talk?
Yeah, that was just pre-talk. Now it's there.
All right. Maybe I should cinch my belt.
Yeah. Get comfortable. Unbutton your belt, but not your pants.
That's all I'm wearing is a belt, by the way.
Yeah. Yes, I kind of went down a Hindle hole, if you want to call it that. He's been in a ton of movies. He's the guy in The Brood. I guess that's a Canadian name.
Nova Scotia, Canada.
Man.
Art Hindle.
He has a thing for coats. I mean, I know that he's not can't pick his own wardrobe, but he is wearing his scene in, I never understood that in Black Christmas where Olivia Hussey is getting these phone calls. Mm-hmm. Those phone calls are so insane where he is talking in different voices and stuff. Very creepy. But you remember the scene where he just goes with Olivia Hussey to talk to John Saxon at the police station and bangs the door open like he owns the place, and he is wearing a full-on huge fur coats from the 20s where they would have go to football games and wave little flags. At least in Bugs Bunny, that's what they did. You know what I'm talking about?
I know exactly.
And he'd have a straw boater hat on.
Yeah.
What was up with that? But anyway, and then in The Brood, he's got another.
Yes.
I think what I'm missing here is all of these are from Canada, and it is cold in Canada.
Well, you got a point there.
God.
All right. Welcome to the Canadian Connection Corner on coats.
Canadian Coat Connection.
Yeah.
Hi, I'm Guy Lafleur. You have to have a Lafleur. It's literally the only French I know.
Well, let me start off and say that I know that there's a lot of horror movies out there. Well, I didn't actually realize how many horror movies, we just said that, were made around Christmas.
Yeah.
And I know a lot of people were doing reviews just recently of, what was it, Blood Feast?
Yeah, Blood Feast, which is...
Because it's like a Thanksgiving horror film.
Yeah.
I've never seen it.
It's bad.
I did not go down that hole. I'm reaching for stuff that may be just little known, but some of it, I've got some newer stuff and I've got some really older stuff.
Okay.
So I'll try not to spoil the new stuff at least.
Okay. Do you ever touch on Poultrygeist by the Trauma team? Okay, good. That is a must-see.
I loved it.
Yeah. It actually, not many movies do this. It made me a little sick to my stomach. There's a toilet scene in there that was very gross.
There's a lot of scenes in there that are very gross.
You're right.
Well, let me just start and you'll be able to follow along here that last year, actually, Bloody Disgusting put out an editorial on a massive guide to over 120 Christmas horror films.
Wow. Just Christmas.
Just Christmas. So go ahead and pull that up so we can go through this list.
I'm going to. I'm looking it up right now.
Because my movies were on this that I covered today. And granted, like I said, I wasn't necessarily going to do all Christmas movies, but some of these are so loosely based around Christmas.
Yes.
I mean, in one movie, I think the only real connection to Christmas is stated in the plot, but one person is actually whistling a Christmas song.
Okay.
I don't remember Christmas being brought up at any point in the movie.
Okay. Can I guess what it is?
Sure.
Well,
you can try.
Because I know one that is very, like, Jaws 4 technically happens during Christmas. But they're in the fucking Bahamas for most of the movie, so it doesn't really...
Right.
But there are carolers at some point, and that's all I remember.
On this island? Island carolers?
Hard to say. I don't know if that's before they left or not. And you know what? I am not going to go back and watch that.
Gonna look it up. Nope. On this list from Bloody Disgusting, I will tell you that all 4 of my movies are on this list that I covered today. Yes, I watched 4 movies. I've watched more than that, but I am saving some more. So
okay.
But there's a couple in here that I really had no idea about.
Oh, I am already like some of them in the very first like group of 10 or 15 are insane.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yes, I'm looking at you. You go ahead.
They say like Batman Returns is in there.
And, and the image is terrifying. I do not remember.
Oh, it is.
That was a very dark movie, very dark. And I don't mean just like the contrast or whatever. It was scary.
How about Bikini Bloodbath Christmas? I may be following this one next week.
That sounds amazing.
I guess that is a trilogy. This is the 3rd entry in the Bikini Bloodbath series. I'm like,
wow.
Well, okay.
I mean, can't really argue with that.
So you see all 3 of your Black Christmas movies are in here.
There's a few movies that I have seen, and Christmas must be just not a part of it because I'm like, I don't even remember it being Christmas. I don't know how to pronounce that French one. Calvier. I'm not even going to try it, but I've seen that one. That was pretty brutal.
Cannelloni?
Yes. Sure, close enough.
ATM is on here, and I actually saw ATM. That was enjoyable.
Yes, I enjoyed that too. That's the first thing I saw. And now that I'm looking at it, I was like, okay, yeah, it is Christmas, but...
Did you see that Babes in Toyland 1934 is on
that
horror list?
You want to talk about nightmare fuel.
Even the picture they have up there is nightmare fuel.
Terrifying.
It's like Emmett Otter's Jug Band Christmas on acid.
Yep. Is that?
No, that's not one of my movies. I love that movie, by the way. I can sing a couple of the songs.
Oh, brother. I've never seen that.
You've never seen it?
No, I've never seen it.
It's a lot of fun.
I mean, we could just talk about this list for a while.
Oh, yeah.
There's one in particular that I really was trying to get around to watch. Actually, there's 2 of them. I wanted to see the Anna and the Apocalypse.
Mm-hmm.
I've never seen that.
Deep Red is on this list.
Yeah, I saw that. Technically, it is Christmas too, but it's Christmas in Italy.
All right. Well, I'm going to go down my first movie, and I'm going to let you continue down this list so you can add to your list of things that you need to watch.
That's what I'm doing right now.
The first movie that I watched, and we brought this up before, and it was been on my list to watch, is Daphne Zuniga's first film, The Dorm That Dripped Blood.
Right.
1982. And that reads, 4 college students are stalked by an unknown assailant while staying on campus over the Christmas holidays to help clear out the dormitory, which is to be demolished.
I mean, that sounds very similar to several different movies.
Yeah. This is the one that I was saying that there's nothing around this that speaks Christmas to me.
Right. Yeah.
These kids, I mean, it's basically, so you have 2 guys and 2 girls and they're around this dormitory, and there's one guy who's snooping around that's he kind of looks like John C. Reilly and Peter McNichol had a bastard child. This is what it would look like.
And didn't give it any hair products.
Yeah.
Just like, you get out of the shower, blow dry it, and that's how you're going out to meet the world.
And he's kind of creepy and snooping around. So, it's one of those that kind of gets you thinking that anybody is a suspect.
Right.
But the cast is so small in this.
Yeah.
And these kids, there's 4 college students that are supposed to be sticking around to clear up this place. They don't do any actual work whatsoever.
I was about to say, are they getting paid by the university for this, or what?
The setup is not very good.
Okay.
And this dormitory, I mean, it's old, it's multi-level. You would think that these people would have stayed closer together, because when they go to find each other in their rooms, they're like, it's like a 10-minute trek to get to their room.
Right. Yeah.
So it seems like it's just sprawling.
Yes.
Really, the cast is very small, but Daphne Zuniga's first film.
Worth a watch for that.
And she's not even a main character.
Right.
She's there helping out, but in the first few minutes, it's stated that she's going home because her grandmother's sick.
Okay.
Or something like that. It wasn't like, I'm going home because my parents are giving me shit about not being around on Christmas. That would have played more into the Christmas theme, right?
Yeah. I mean, is there anything else?
No.
Is it snowing? Is it like, I mean,
no.
I don't understand why you would do that.
It adds nothing to the film.
Right. Unless it just gives you a reason for them to be there alone.
But this movie was also on the Video Nasties list. This was unprosecuted. There were 10 seconds that were actually deleted from the film. I could tell where it was deleted, and I found that scene. It was deleted out of the copy I watched. I think I watched this on Tubi or Netflix or probably YouTube, which all of these movies are easily accessible that I'm covering. Anyway.
Yeah.
The one scene, I had to go and find that on YouTube, and it's another drill to the forehead or to the back of the head.
Yeah, I saw that.
That was why the movie was put on the Video Nasty list.
I mean, that is pretty gross.
It is pretty gross, and it happens to like the janitor guy who's just kind of wandering around and fixing things. None of the characters do a lot. They're just kind of bumbling around.
They're just killer fodder.
Mm-hmm. And there's not a whole lot of cool deaths because, they were stretching it out so far. There's one in which the killer puts the girl into a big boiling pot of water that they would have like in the cafeteria. And it's not set up like, he turned this on and it was boiling. No, he turned the knob and it was immediately boiling when he threw her in. I'm like, that is.
That's going to take like an hour for that stock pot to start boiling.
Maybe.
So they must have had one of those like turbo burner things, or maybe induction technology.
The first Instapot. Who knows?
Ooh, the Instapot murders. I would watch that. Well, okay, so on this Bloody Disgusting list, the still that they have from the movie is pretty fucking gross. She's kind of got a machete in her hand, and it's laying on a dismembered corpse. Some dude missing an arm.
This plays on a lot of the same tropes that they did back in the 80s that, we as an audience argue with the screen, hold on to that weapon.
Yeah. Get out.
That girl takes that machete. She ends up cutting a guy across the shoulder, which was the the weird guy, the John C. Reilly guy, his name was John Hemmett. They made sure to tell his name over and over again because they got the police to come out and we're like, we know who it is. It's John Hemmett. He's creeping around here and, stalking us. And the girls were just getting creeped out about it. But, and in the end, he's just trying to help as well. Spoiler alert.
Yeah. I mean, it's misdirection. Do you ever find out who the killer really is?
Yeah, and a really, really bad exposition of just the killer telling the girl that he did everything. It's not like it didn't divulge anything. It didn't lead up. You're just like, he's just like, oh, it was me the entire time. You're like, oh, well, thanks.
Exactly. I mean, that's what I'm like. Everything that you're telling me, I'm like comparing to Black Christmas, and it's like Bob Clark just got it nailed it,
And this had 2 directors.
That's probably never a good idea.
All right. Stephen Carpenter and Jeffrey Obro. So these guys actually worked together on several films, which included The Power, which...
Oh, man. I know exactly what you're talking about. It's like a little idol that starts turning them into.
Yeah.
Oh my God. I could talk about that movie for a while. That's so bad.
Was it an MST or something?
Yes,
how do you know
about
this?
No, it was a Riff Tracks.
Okay.
I just saw it recently.
Okay.
But there is a guy, we should do a like shorts corner or like a clothing segment because the totally unappealing guy in this movie is at one point wearing tennis shorts, I guess is what you would call them, with his polo shirt tucked into him.
Okay.
I don't know how to describe him other than you can almost see nutsack because they're like 2-inch long shorts. And he's going out into public with these on. He goes to a police station with them on. And he is a very unappealing man.
Awesome.
There's just a lot of big hair in the movies that I have watched recently.
Okay.
They're white guy hair. It's like the guy in Black Christmas that is, I can't remember whose boyfriend that is, but he's just a big dude. I mean, I imagine he just spent an hour blow drying it and making it as big as possible.
Awesome.
Maybe in the 70s, it was like, that's how you attracted a mate, was to like make your hair as big as it possibly could be. Like a peacock or something.
Oh, there was a lot of hairspray in the 80s.
Yeah. On guys.
That too. So anyway, this Stephen Carpenter and Jeffrey Obro, they also collaborated on The Kindred.
Oh my God. That is
I loved that movie.
I absolutely loved that movie. I've rented it several times. Rod Steiger, Amanda Plummer.
The box art, I think, was just incredible too. Little alien inside the baby bottle. Yeah.
Please, Tim, it's not an alien. It's a mutant.
Whatever.
Use the proper terminology, please.
So, these guys actually have some, credibility under their shit. They did The Servants of Twilight, which I think that was a direct to DVD or direct to VHS.
I haven't seen it in probably like 20 years. I'm curious if it holds up.
Yes. But these guys also worked on, looks like they created Grimm.
Okay. That's a TV show?
Yeah. I've never watched it. My wife has seen every bit of it. I have not ever watched it. I don't have time to get into a TV series that's already been on for 6 seasons.
Exactly. Who has the time?
Right.
But I was thinking about your wife too, because she,
hey now.
Well, not in that way. Dark Skies came up when I was looking through stuff. And I was like, man, I vaguely remember this, but I bet I could ask Elisa and she would know exactly what I was talking about. I think it's because Art Hindle was in it, probably.
So anyway, for a slasher movie, this was okay in my book.
The Dorm That Dripped Blood?
It's Daphne Zuniga. She, and a spoiler alert, if you don't want to hear any of this, but she dies pretty early in the film.
Okay.
Actually, her parents come to pick her up. And I think her father is the first one killed in the film. He's going to go get her up the stairwell. He gets a baseball bat that has nails sticking out of it to the temple. And he goes down pretty hard. And I think it actually has a nice little thunk when it hits him in the head.
Like you would imagine it would make a noise that it would make.
The melon crusher. But
I don't think this is too weird, but I have always wanted a fucking apocalyptic baseball bat with those big ass nails in it.
All right.
Seems like you could make one really easily.
I'll work on that. I know what to get you for Christmas now.
Yes, please.
Anyway.
Don't put them in. Just get me the bat and the nails and I'll do it.
Assembly acquired.
Yeah.
Not just wrap a bat that has obvious nails sticking.
No. I remember when I was a kid, I tried to make like a ninja star with like nails and duct tape. It turned out pretty good.
Yeah?
Yep,
yeah. I only got tetanus twice.
Yeah. It was, oh yeah. I've had like 15 cats in my life.
Yes. Anyway, so Daphne Zuniga, she's walking down the stairwell and she sees her dad dead there, does not check him for a pulse or anything, just kind of screams and starts running away.
I mean,
and down an alley, I guess she was pretty far away from her parents' car where they had parked. The mom is sitting in the passenger seat and just kind of staring out the window and just being humdrum, just kind of, just watching nothing. When behind her, you see an arm come through the driver's window and unlock the back door. And the back door opens and the killer gets in. And then has like a garrote. Yeah, and chokes her out. Garrote, whatever you want to call it. But my point in that was like, I mean, that was fun to see the arm come in. But I don't care even if it's this is like a station wagon.
Uh-huh.
If you have a toddler get in the station wagon, you're going to feel that car shift.
Yeah, right.
And so it's like, I don't really buy that.
Exactly.
It was fun to watch her get choked out. And then Daphne Zuniga runs up. She sees her mom. She screams. It's the body falling out the door of the car, jump scare.
Yeah.
She screams. She gets knocked over the head and falls. No. I take that back. I think she actually screams herself into submission and just kind of passes out. Either way, she either gets knocked on the head or she just passes out. The killer then drags her behind the car, gets in the car, and backs over her.
Oh, ouchie.
That is what I came for.
Yeah.
I loved it. I laughed my ass off.
Cool. Like a good vehicular...
vehicular homicide.
Yeah, I guess.
It doesn't have really anybody in it. Even the lead girl, Lori Lipinski, this is her only film.
Right. Yeah. When you look at it on IMDb, it's Daphne Zuniga, her, and some other guy, and they're the only ones that have like headshots on their... that's how you tell.
Well, Richard Cowgill...
I thought I recognized that name from something, and I guess I didn't, because I looked him up and nothing stood out, but...
That's Daphne Zuniga's dad in the film.
Okay.
But he also was in The Power. He's got no other real credits. So.
Also, he looks like the dad in Black Christmas, kind of.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, a little bit. That character's so funny in Black Christmas, like the dad that... I hate to keep on going back to Black Christmas, but it did predate Halloween, and I mean... I'm not going to say it out loud, but I really liked it on this viewing. I don't know. I've seen it 100 times, but I was just really paying attention to everything. And man, just a good movie.
So is that one of yours that you watch? Is that what you're going right into?
Yeah.
Go ahead and segue right into that.
That's fine. I mean, if you're listening to this podcast and you haven't seen Black Christmas, go out and watch it like right now. Stop the podcast because it's just so good. Like the warm feeling you get from watching A Christmas Story, is in his just filmmaking. Like it just is shot beautifully, first of all. The house is awesome. Their sorority house is just like beautiful and like, but also it's so creepy thinking that Billy is in there somewhere, and we know he's in the house. That creeped me out so much. And the very first scene, that girl that goes up to her room to change or whatever, and I guess, I don't know, they were doing like construction on the house or something, and they've got that one kind of closet blocked off with that like Visqueen plastic. And I think maybe I reacted to it because my childhood house is kind of like that, where there's just doors that go to nowhere, just like storage stuff, and man, it's just so creepy. The way that movie ends is also just like gives you chills because they never find her body.
Oh, awesome.
She is in the attic, and that is the scene on the cover.
On the cover, yeah.
It is the last shot of the movie, is they pull back from the attic, and after all this like mayhem, they don't catch Billy, and she is still dead in the attic.
Awesome.
Which is super creepy. That's a Canadian movie. Bob Clark directed it, the guy that did Christmas Story. He did Porky's. I mean, one of these days, we're just going to have a podcast to talk about him.
Oh,
because, I love every movie that he's ever made, I think.
Oh, including Baby Geniuses?
Don't know about I can't say because I have not watched it. Is that for real a Bob Clark movie?
Yeah, he directed that.
I don't know.
He also directed the Karate Dog.
What?
I'll throw that out there.
There's no rules that say a dog can't learn karate. Nothing in the rule book.
So Art Hindle was also in Porky's.
Oh, yeah, right. Bob Clark was in Porky's. He just plays piano. He is the kind of misdirect. You think he's the killer because Olivia Hussey reveals that in kind of a weird switch 'em up, she tells him that she's pregnant and he wants to keep it and she wants to have an abortion. Okay. So there's that whole plot like going on too, but he's like very tall and menacing. And the way that Bob Clark just kind of, the scenes that he is in, you're clearly thinking he's the killer, which he is not.
And you're talking about Keir Dullea?
Yes. I don't know why he has such a weird name in the middle of all these Canadian people, because he's from Ohio.
Yes. But he was Dave in Space Odyssey,
exactly.
2001: A Space Odyssey.
I did not realize that because I've only seen him in those two movies. And in Black Christmas, he has that big old 70s hair, but yeah, he's Dave. I even looked up Gary Lockwood. It has nothing to do with Christmas, but he was in the $6 Million Man for a couple episodes.
All right.
Been watching a lot of the $6 Million Man and the Bionic Woman lately.
Okay.
So...
these are good actors.
Yes. This was probably one of their first roles,
A good launching platform for them.
Which Margot Kidder kind of being like sauced up and like kind of flirting with everybody and that type of, that's kind of her deal, That's her actor's choices to just be kind of drunk. And there's a scene where she's in the background at a party in Black Christmas. I don't know if they're talking to the dad, I think. And she's given looks like an 8-year-old kid. She's giving him like a sip of bourbon or something. It's very funny that it's just,
very nice. You
can see it in the background, and I liked it. It made me laugh.
That's hilarious. This is something that everybody should see.
Yes.
Granted, it was 1974, so this is really kind of the birth of the real slasher style movies.
Yeah,
right?
You have Psycho, and you have that one that you were talking about with When a Stranger Calls. Is that it? That kind of started the babysitter kind of murder thing.
Well, Psycho was 1960.
Right. Are we calling that the first slasher? I don't know.
I don't know.
Seems like we should know this, but...
We should know. Somebody correct us.
I don't know. It's the earliest one that I can kind of think of and that I've actually seen multiple times and is a great suspense-filled movie. That's Hitchcock. It's,
Yeah.
It's good.
Well, that makes me want to know, because Black Christmas has been around forever.
Well, and I think a lot of people cite Halloween. John Carpenter's Halloween is like the birth of the slasher movie. And, Black Christmas predates it by a few years.
In the trivia here, this film is regarded as being one of the first slasher films, with Texas Chainsaw Massacre 1974, The Bay of Blood 1971, Psycho 1960, and Peeping Tom, 1960.
I have never seen Peeping Tom. Every time I look up stuff like this, it pops up.
With saying you've now been flagged for looking up something called Peeping Tom.
Exactly.
Maybe you should quit putting how to become.
Right. I don't need to add the context. I guess I don't consider Texas Chainsaw Massacre as a slasher movie, but it is.
Yeah. It says the original title for the film was Stop Me. Okay. And director Bob Clark came up with the title Black Christmas, saying he liked the irony of something dark occurring during such a festive holiday.
Yeah, for sure. And he makes very good use of that, you know? It does add something to it. It adds like stakes and like kind of value to it, that there's something else going on, you know, like, and it kind of like dresses up the set. Almost everything like occurs in that sorority house, and it just looks like cozy, and, you know, the lights are on and the fireplace is going. It's like, how could something horrible happen, you know?
Right. There's a lot of trivia on this. Interesting stuff. I'd like to go through a lot of it, but I was trying to find, here it is. The film managed to gross $4 million on a relatively small budget of $620,000.
Wow. So it was a big hit.
Yeah.
I wonder if it came out at Christmas.
I would think it'd have to, right?
I don't know. I like it that, man, I almost want to pay the money for IMDb Pro because it's like,
how much more can you give me?
Right, exactly.
Do we need more stuff for this?
I don't know. Probably not. It would make us sound smarter. Except that I gave it away, that we're just reading off of IMDb, guys.
I can totally cut that out.
Cut all of that out.
All of this is basic knowledge stuck in our heads.
Yeah. I mean, I have fairly good recall, but not
total recall.
I just started my 30-day free trial.
Oh.
The podcast is now going to be 2 hours longer because I've got all this information.
All right. So Black Christmas. Good stuff.
Love it. Hang on. Let me see if I've got anything. Oh. No, I just wrote John Saxon. I didn't even have to add anything to it. He is awesome. I don't know if we say that enough, but he's just good in everything he's in.
I just watched a couple of clips from him in Battle Beyond the Stars.
Oh, God, right.
Yeah.
Oh, man. I'm watching that tonight.
That's good stuff. Dude, we have a long ways to go, so I'm just gonna skip right into it, all right?
Okay, go ahead. Are we still working off of the Bloody Disgusting list?
Oh, well, yeah, all of my films are on this Bloody Disgusting list.
Okay.
They're just a little different, right?
Okay.
So I'm gonna go straight into a 2008 film called The Children.
Okay.
And it reads, a relaxing Christmas vacation turns into a terrifying fight for survival as the children begin to turn on their parents.
Okay.
It doesn't really set up anything other than the children are outside playing. One of them gets sick and starts vomiting, and all the kids seem to get sick from this kid being sick.
Uh-huh.
And really, they're just evil kids.
Okay.
They just turn into evil kids.
Okay.
Trying to kill their parents.
Okay.
Oh, it made me think of it maybe if Marky Mark farted, you know, and...
In The Happening?
And it was blown into their faces.
Yes.
And, yeah, they just went feral.
Yeah. I mean, I could see that happening.
This is my greatest explanation ever.
I could see that happening. Marky Mark farts into their faces. That's probably in the director's cut.
I think so. But this movie, I think the first time I turned it off because there's so many kids screaming.
That's the real horror.
I just couldn't take it. I want to shake all of these kids. Mm-hmm. And the kids do a great job on making themselves look evil.
Right. Well, kids are inherently evil.
Good point.
Also, there's another movie called The Children that is very similar, but it's from the 70s, and they actually drive their big yellow school bus through like toxic fog.
Waste.
Yeah.
More of Marky Mark's farts. Yeah.
What's the thing with Marky Mark? I don't
know. The Happening. That's where I was going with. Just a feral wind that blows in.
I see. Everybody
crazy.
Yeah. That's an awful movie. I mean, like, there are so many shots of like trees just kind of blowing in the wind. And I guess you're supposed to be like, oh shit. But really you're like, what is this?
It's a light breeze.
What is this? Damn you, Shyamalan. I rebuke you.
This movie, it came off looking like one of those, you remember they did the 8 movies to die for or something like that?
I was going to ask if it was included in one of those series of movies, because I thought I remembered seeing it in one of those collections.
The box art makes you believe that too. Yeah, here it is. It's Ghost House. No, this is Ghost House Underground.
Okay.
That's what it was.
Right. It does have like that's probably why do you have any idea what Ghost House is? Because I have seen a couple of their movies, but
type it in. You got IMDb Pro now.
I guess so. I guess I could. This actually looks pretty good.
This movie?
Did you like it?
I enjoyed it okay. I mean, there's some gruesome scenes, but still, I'm like, they're kids.
Yeah.
Well, I think the parents in it were so believing that the kids were innocent.
Yeah.
How could this happen? That before they had a chance to actually believe these evil kids, they were then being murdered by said evil kids.
Right.
But there's like 6 or 8 of them. There's like 2 families and there's like 8 kids in total. And it's just like, I couldn't keep track of their names, but they were all just evil looking.
I mean, it just seems like you could just pick one up and like throw it into a lake or something.
I wanted to see that.
Yeah. Do they get violent with the kids?
Oh, they do.
Okay.
There's a couple of good scenes. I don't want to spoil this one because it's newer and maybe people haven't had a chance to see it. I don't mind spoiling the dorm that dripped blood because if you haven't seen it, then, that's your fault.
Yeah, exactly. That's on you. That is all on
this
you.
Being 2008, it's only 12 years old. I mean, it has some good deaths in it.
Tim, nobody's going to go back and watch this movie.
Now you got a good point.
You know what I hate? I really hate when they do that, like, on the cover, they have like the E backwards and stuff. And like everything's like, now it's uppercase, now it's lowercase.
Mm-hmm.
What? Stop doing that. I mean, because are they just all dumb kids?
Maybe so. I mean, there's some young kids in here.
Well, yeah. And there is something creepy about a kid being dumb and violent. I don't know.
It says it was nominated for the 2009 Fright Meter Award for Best Horror Movie.
Never heard of it. I thought you were going to say a Razzie or something, but
no.
What's the horror Razzies? We should know this. I'll look it up.
All right.
You keep talking.
You've got IMDb Pro.
Yeah, exactly. You sound jealous. It's a 30-day trial.
Oh, yeah. I could do it too.
Yeah, you could do it too.
This whole movie was set in a secluded location, one house, a lot of ground area to explore around this house.
Okay.
There's at one point they called the cops or whatever, and they said it was going to be an hour before they could get out there. And really, so for outside influence into this movie, there is none. It's just these 2 families, a weird, like, uncle-niece dichotomy.
A weird uncle-niece situation.
Well, there's one niece that she's playing a teenager while the other kids are way younger. And so she kind of has an idea that these kids have gone bad. So she's trying to save everybody, but the parents are not believing this girl.
Right. But it doesn't affect her because she's older?
It's unclear.
Okay.
And I don't want to spoil anything,
okay,
like I said. But, I mean, there's a bunch of creepy kids running around. You hear them crying at one point. You hear them laughing at another.
Yeah, that is creepy.
It is very creepy. But they're small. like grab them by their coats and throw them against a tree.
Yeah, they're at that age where their heads are like heavier than their body. They're like bobblehead. You could just hold one by the head and just push it the hell over.
Mm-hmm.
Say, go to hell, Bobby. This is not happening. But it is one of those things, like the children that I was talking about. It's like the parents can't help themselves because even though they see that these kids' fingernails are like turning black and they're all like, they basically have like low grade zombie makeup on, they still go in for a hug,
Yeah.
That's just your instinct.
And they get burnt.
Yeah, they get burnt. They get sizzled like bacon. But yeah, that concept is creepy.
The acting in this movie is well done.
I don't recognize anybody.
And you won't. But these actors have all been in, like, here's one guy, Jeremy Sheffield. I mean, he has 31 credits. Not bad. Anything I've ever really seen? No.
Yeah. His name in Creep is Guy.
Yeah.
So it's like, oh, also, this is not the Creep that I thought it was. I thought it was the one with the Duplass brother.
Right.
That it is not.
And that's what I thought, too, when I saw that. This guy was also in an Anna Karenina. I hate saying that name.
Karenina?
Sounds like you're golfing.
Karenina. It just goes on forever.
But really, I've gone through a lot of these actors and the same thing. It's like I don't recognize any of these movies.
Right.
They've been in several things. I don't know. One girl's been in a few episodes of Penny Dreadful.
Okay.
Never watched it.
No.
The Midnight Beast TV series. I don't know what that is.
Midnight Beast?
No idea. 2012. She played Frog.
Okay. Can I ask you, what is the deal with the weird tattoo thing in the belly button?
Mm-hmm.
What is that?
That's actually the teenage girl. She got a tattoo because I guess she was a failed abortion attempt.
Oh my God.
So she got that tattoo unbeknownst of her parents.
And then she's going to go out and kill some kids.
Right. She is the savior of the film, but she's still just a teenager and she gets pushed around by the other parents too.
Right.
But there's some cool, creepy scenes. It's kind of left open at the end.
Mm-hmm.
There's some cool death. That little freaking kid in the yellow coat.
Uh-huh.
Oh no, that's the little girl. The little boy that's next to her, you see in that picture?
Yes.
Yeah, he gets it really good. So that's nice. He's a little fucker.
Yeah, he's kind of giving me Bob vibes from House by the Cemetery.
Bob.
Bob.
Bob's the final girl.
Interesting.
But anyway, The Children, check it out. Loosely based around Christmas. They actually have a Christmas tree set up and they're trying to do a Christmas dinner and such. But when they all sat down to Christmas dinner, I'm like, why aren't these kids at the kids' table? There's a kids' table for a reason.
Yeah.
Get them away from that table.
Yes.
They can be gross and disgusting on their own.
Exactly.
But it's one of those two that it's kind of unnerving because you see how the parents are reacting and you're like, I would totally spank those kids.
Yes. Where are the parents?
Exactly. The parents are not being parents.
That's the real horror of the movie.
Exactly.
I watched Halloween 3 over this last Halloween, and there's some kid death in that. Of course, I mean, that's the plot of the entire movie. Mm-hmm. When he's watching the commercial and his head explodes, I'm like, that kid was really annoying, Like, I mean, I'm not saying that that's right, that the Irish guy, wanted to kill all those kids, but that kid in particular was really annoying. So,
and for that, we are grateful.
Yeah. Give thanks.
Anyway, I'm going to click off The Children.
Okay, cool.
It's got some good carnage. It's something you don't have to necessarily pay attention to. But the director, I keep trying to say Tom Skankland, but
that's a cool name.
Shankland is his name.
That's cool too. Skank or Shank.
He's got 25 directing credits. He directed an episode of Luke Cage. He directed a couple episodes of The Punisher, Ripper Street. So he's done a lot of TV. Ripper Street, Dirk Gently.
Oh, cool. Yeah, that's what I was going to say. It is British. Are the actors British?
If they are, I didn't really even go into depth. Maybe that's why we don't know their shit so much, right?
Right. Maybe that would explain some things. Maybe British people are just like they're just like, just go have fun, you know?
So looking at the writer's he's written 10 things, directed a handful of things, but you're right. It may be a lot of British stuff. There's one called the Cottage, and I've seen this plenty of times, the box art, but I have never seen this movie.
It has a very weird cover to it.
Yeah, it's Andy Serkis.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, the killer in this, his makeup is fucked up. I kind of like it.
I might have to watch this.
Yes.
Now. Is that Andy Serkis in that makeup?
I don't know, because he is also looks like a cop or something.
Paul Andrew Williams wrote and directed The Cottage, 2008. Comedy, crime, horror. That sounds great to me.
I like it when there's a little bit of comedy in my horror.
Anyway, so that is The Children.
Cool. Guys, if a kid looks like it's possessed and runs up to you and it's not yours, push it down. Push it. There's nothing that says you can't push it down.
Then you blame it on, something else.
Yeah.
He must have slipped.
Yeah.
Kids hurt themselves all the time.
Exactly. It's awful. This is awful information that we're putting out there.
Yes, I think we should be banned.
Edit all the child killing stuff out of that.
Okay.
So as I'm looking through this bloody disgusting list, rabid also occurs during Christmas.
Yes.
I had no idea.
I had no idea either.
I don't remember there being a Santa in Rabid.
No, I don't recall that either. There's a bunch of movies in here that you probably didn't realize that were loosely.
Yeah, exactly. There's one on here called Night Visitors from 1987.
Okay.
It literally looks like a snuff film. It's got that it looks like the Poughkeepsie tapes. They tried to make it really low quality video recording, you know? Anyway, I just scrolled past that. I was like, ooh, that definitely ended in a real life murder. Also, I didn't realize Night of the Comet happens during what would be Christmas, I guess.
I didn't realize that either.
Man, I love that movie too. I love Catherine Mary Stewart.
There's a couple of more movies in here that I'm anxious to take a look at, so I'm not going to mention. I might actually have those for next week.
Okay. As
we continue this fun foray into slasher Christmas.
Yeah. Have you seen Inside?
No,
the old
which one? I saw that both versions were up there.
I have not seen the newer one, but I think people I don't think people liked it as much as the original.
Is that right?
The original is fucking brutal. I liked it.
I might have to check it out.
Yep.
Before you go into your next dive, though, I do want to mention this just because I said I was going to, and I'm not going to spoil anything whatsoever, but I did sit down with my wife and we watched Books of Blood.
Yes.
Which is Clive Barker stories.
Yes.
And this is a small little anthology.
Right.
And it reads A Journey into Uncharted and Forbidden Territory through 3 tales tangled in space and time. Okay. The box art for it is absolutely awesome.
I don't think I've seen that.
I loved this movie.
Cool.
The more I think about it, the more I enjoyed it. Because I just thought it had so much to offer. And I tell everybody it's on Hulu. It's a Hulu original, just came out in October. Go watch it. Awesome. It's worth a watch.
I want to say the Books of Blood are my first, except for Stephen King, they're my first pure horror reads ever. I have had those books in multiple different formats. And I have just read and reread them. I want to say Rawhead Rex is where that came from, one of the Books of Blood.
I think we talked about that. Yeah.
I could be wrong, but he was on fire at this part of his, the early 80s.
Oh, yeah.
Man, and they're just nothing you've ever read before.
And there was a 2009 version of Clive Barker's Books of Blood.
Yeah, I vaguely remember that.
This is way better.
Yeah.
In my eyes.
Cool.
Because I will remember this.
Well, also Midnight Meat Train, the one with Vinny Jones, and I didn't know Bradley Cooper was in that, but
yeah,
that's one of the Books of Blood.
Not too long ago, there was one that was Dread. That's what it was.
Yes, I remember when that came out, and I want to say that was one of those movies to die for or something.
I don't know. It doesn't have that banner on the box art. Not that I'm seeing right away.
I could be wrong, but I think it came out around the same time. I never saw it, though, but the book is very creepy.
That was After Dark Horror Fest 4.
That's right. Boy, those were real hit and miss. There was a couple of them that I really liked, and there was a couple of them that was just like, ooh, death bad.
But I enjoyed Dread all right. It was pretty dreadful. I mean, meaning it was not an uplifting movie.
No. All I remember about the book is that there's like a piece of like rotting meat, and that's one of the tests that this guy is like. He's basically like putting people through like a psychology, like
a test study.
Yeah, like a study of what people will do, when pushed to their limit, I think.
There's also the Hellbound Laments.
That sounds like a combination of the book that became Hellraiser.
Mm-hmm. There's 13 episodes. It's a short fantasy horror. It's slated for this year.
Oh my God, dude. I've kind of heard rumors about a like Hellraiser prequel type thing.
Okay.
Oh man, that would be so awesome.
All right, something to look forward to.
Yes, that has nothing to do with Christmas.
Nope.
Tim?
Nope. Just got on a Clive Barker.
We're supposed to be concentrating on Christmas.
I just wanted to give Books of Blood a shout out.
Yeah, cool.
Run out and watch it. Or stay in and watch it. Whatever you do these days.
Don't run out into the street. Calmly try to find it somewhere and then go watch it.
Okay.
Bill Moseley keeps popping up in all of these. There's like 3 Bill Moseley movies that are in the Christmas thing.
American Exorcist.
Yeah, I saw that.
Paranormal investigator Georgette Dubois investigates reported paranormal activity in a skyscraper on Christmas Eve. Naturally, he finds more than... she finds... I see him.
Yeah.
I'm thinking... I was wondering why his name was Georgette.
Yeah, that's weird. That's like half the movie explaining that.
Naturally, she finds more than she bargained for when she becomes trapped by evil on the top floor.
I hate it when that happens.
Why is it always on the top floor, damn it? All the evil goes to the penthouse.
Or that 13th floor that they were supposed to skip and they didn't. Okay, this is a bit of a digression too, but The Day of the Beast, have you seen it's on this list. Mm-hmm. And it just has a still.
Let me tell you, my next movie is called El Dia de la Bestia.
Okay. Are you for real?
I watched this movie and I loved it.
I am so glad you watched this movie because I have seen it a couple of times. I had to search to find a watchable copy of it.
Really?
Yeah, I don't remember. I mean, this has been years ago.
Mm-hmm. It's available on Amazon right now.
Really?
Yes.
I mean, I had to go to the dark web to get it, I think. But it is wild is the only way that I can describe it.
I absolutely love this movie. And I mean, granted, this is Spanish.
Yep.
It's a Spanish film.
Yeah. It's
subtitled. If you guys can't read it, just skip over this portion. Right. But it is a worthy watch.
Yeah.
It was a lot of freaking fun.
Well, do you want to talk about it now and leave?
Sure, since I'm in it.
Yeah, go ahead.
Well, we both, since you've seen it too.
It's been a little while, but I loved it.
This head guy who is the priest, mm-hmm. Alex Angulo.
Okay. Okay. Do you want to do a disclaimer right now that we are going to be mispronouncing a lot of names?
All of them.
Yes.
I will be mispronouncing all of them. I'm going to put it right out there. He was awesome in this.
Yeah.
He really, really was.
Does he take you through the movie? Is he the one that you're kind of watching?
He's the main priest that basically through some sort of mathematical thing. He comes up with the exact date of when the Antichrist is supposed to be born.
Okay.
And he has taken it upon himself to find and bring about the apocalypse so he can stop the apocalypse.
He's pro-apocalypse.
So he's a priest, but he's doing some really bad things.
Yeah.
And it makes me laugh because, I mean, he looks like a priest.
Right.
Even just the most menial things that are just semi or pseudo evil, pulling out his car keys and keying cars as he's going through the parking garage.
Yes, I remember that. That is awesome.
It's made me laugh.
Can you, I mean, is that the plot or is there more? I mean, I don't even know how to explain it.
I'll read it here. Bent on committing as many sins as possible to avert the birth of the beast, a Catholic priest teams up with a black metal aficionado and an Italian connoisseur of the occult. Now he must become an unrelenting sinner. Is there still hope?
You basically just have to watch it because that ultimately like means not a lot to, you know.
Nothing. The guy that the metal,
yes,
the quote unquote, I was doing air quotes there,
yes.
Black metal aficionado, his character is awesome too.
He is. I couldn't remember if those guys were like hitmen or I couldn't remember where he picked those guys up at.
Well, that guy, he's living in the like hostel,
right?
I think it's like I don't know. He rents out a room.
He looks like William Forsythe from what's that biker movie with the Boz? God,
Stone
Cold. He looks like William Forsythe in Stone Cold.
Awesome. Yes, that guy's name is Santiago Segura.
That's a cool name.
But he is hilarious in it.
Yes.
I think what happens is our priest goes to the music shop,
right,
to find heavy metal / Satanistic music,
because he has no idea how to. Whoa, he like what's he basically is like, what's evil nowadays? What do you kids do for evil?
This guy runs the shop. He gets him to play some records backwards,
right?
And ultimately, I guess he's the one that finds him a room to stay in. So they're kind of in the same room together.
Gotcha.
His mom runs this kind of hostel thing. I think his dad or his grandfather, who doesn't have any lines in the movie, but only wears a robe that is never covering his body, is
right.
just basically draped over him. He's just naked through the entire thing.
Right.
And even that made me laugh.
Just real quick. William Forsythe is in Cloak and Dagger. Okay?
God damn. I did not know that.
Let that sink in. Not right now because I don't want to derail the whole thing, but when this is over, like when we take a break, you've got to look him up in that movie. That's crazy. Everything goes back to Cloak and Dagger.
Dabney Coleman.
Okay, I'm sorry. Go continue.
Anyway. Our priest, in trying to bring upon this apocalypse, also he teams up with the medium, and that's the guy whose name is Cavan, Armando de Raza.
Right, and he's like a TV guy. Okay.
Right.
He's like Miss Cleo.
Exactly. Kind of like crossing over with John Edwards,
right, exactly.
Or whatever. My wife used to watch that when we first got together.
That's depressing.
It is. What happened to that guy?
Oh,
we don't care.
He was revealed as a con artist, and hopefully is like.
But that's exactly what this guy says, Armando de Raza, who he's like, it's all fake. All of this is fake. But in working with this priest, which the priest holds him hostage, and his it looks like his hooker that he has ordered, in their apartment, and they try to do a ritual in which they have our metalhead trying to carve a pentagram with symbols in their floor. And like I said, he's hilarious.
Yes.
For being a big guy, he is He is all over the place.
Right. When there are funny parts, it's like everything else in this movie is like pretty dark. I mean,
yes.
but I wonder if there's something like kind of lost in the translation where this is like a comedy, you know, if you were, I mean, because it is, I remember laughing out loud, but man, it's bloody and violent.
Lots of violence. I think at one point our priest gets his ear shot off.
Yes, I'm looking at it now and it is all mangled and gross.
Javier Bardem was Javier Bardem turned down the role for Jose Maria.
Oh, man, can you imagine that? I mean, this guy is awesome, but
this guy is awesome.
I think I'd rather see this dude. He would have. I think Javier would have gone to method with it and really tried to
maybe so. Okay, after the movie's moderate success in the U.S., the director sold the rights to an American remake, which would be directed by himself as well.
So you're not saying there's going to be a sequel or something one of these days?
I don't know. I wouldn't mind seeing more of this. Most rituals showed in the films are real satanic rituals and weren't altered at all.
Whoa. Because I just read in the trivia that they really got some heat from actual like Satanist groups that they were, I think maybe like they were, showing.
You're telling our secrets.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's the 7 herbs and spices, bitch.
Right, exactly. They could sue. You'll be hearing from our
Spanish lawyers.
I was going to say, I don't know what I was going to try to
El
come up.
Lawyeritos.
Oh, that's what I was going to do. And then I decided against it at the very end. I'll let Tim pick this one up. You're good for that.
The story of trying to find the baby, the Antichrist, it was a lot of fun. They went through a lot of different things. They dropped acid. Oh. They actually got the blood of a virgin.
Okay.
Which getting the blood of that virgin was a big ordeal.
Right. Yes.
And funny.
Yes.
At one point, our priest locks himself in the bathroom and with the virgin who's been knocked out, holding her up while the old man who has no lines whatsoever is taking a dump in that bathroom. I'm just kind of looking at him like, What
are you going to do, huh? That's hilarious.
But there are a couple of scenes that actually have a hooved demon beast that looks pretty damn cool.
Looks pretty good. And I mean, it is pretty early. I mean, like 95, it's what they were capable of on a budget in 95. I mean, you can tell that it's, I don't know, like green screen, that last scene where he's kind of picking him up and all the edges are kind of like shiny a little bit. And
yes. Yeah, you can see it. I mean, it's on picture 22 of 98.
Yeah. But you're right. There is a full, like, beast towards the end. Which is very cool.
It was very cool.
Of course, we're going to do like a Satan of maybe string of movies at some point. But I'd love it when you actually get to see the guy. You know? That's why I was so mad, like at Prince of Darkness, where you literally see a hand and a hoof at the very end, which is creepy. The end of that movie is very creepy. But I needed to see more.
But we want a payoff.
Yes, we want a Tim Curry and everything.
There is one scene in this, I think at the very beginning, where they're in a Spanish church temple.
Spanish church temple?
He's talking to another priest in front of this huge crucifix that topples over and just smashes the guy.
Right.
There are some good effects in this. There are. It's fun. A lot of blood, a lot of running around.
Was that like a real thing or was it a prop? Like, can we just topple this thing over?
Good watch. I'm glad you've seen this.
Oh yeah.
I couldn't wait to bring this up. This was my favorite movie that I've watched so far for this. I hate to bring up my last one because I think it was kind of a downer.
Right. Well, no, I mean,
I was going to save this to the end, but you ruined it.
I'm sorry.
You guys can turn off the podcast now. It's over.
I can't follow that. We can't follow that. We'll try it again next week, guys. All I wanted to say was that I'm glad that you found it on Amazon because, like I said, I mean, this has probably been 6 or 7 years ago, and I watched a really, really bad, probably like a DVD rip of it, and I'm excited to rewatch it again.
Yeah, it looked good. It sounded good, and it was a lot of freaking fun. Perdita Durango, that's Dance with the Devil.
Okay. Now, is that supposed to be the sequel?
I don't believe so. It was the next movie that was made by the same director. So 1997, and it reads, a psychotic criminal couples kidnaps.
It's like a tongue twister.
A psychotic criminal couple kidnaps a random teenage couple. The woman rapes the male and lets him watch his lover being raped by the man. Then they plan to sacrifice the couple.
That is the plot for a porn.
And that is starring Javier Bardem and Rosie Perez.
Okay.
James Gandolfini's in there too. Man. Hey, there's Santiago Segura as well. He plays Shorty D.
What is the name of this again? Because now I'm interested.
Now you're in it. Dance with the Devil.
I gotta find it.
1997.
I gotta find it. Okay.
I will be finding this. It has Alex Cox in it.
What?
Don Stroud is in it. We brought up Don Stroud several times.
And I'm sorry, the link, it is the same director as Day of the Beast?
Same director. Yeah.
Wow, dude. Okay, cool. Man.
I'm anxious to see this.
Yeah. So. Witching and Bitching also looks kind of fun.
I was going to bring that up.
I love the covers of these too, like the movie posters. The one for Day of the Beast is freaking awesome. Mm-hmm. But yeah, Witching and Bitching.
Witching and Bitching.
This might be our new favorite director.
It's actually listed as an action comedy fantasy.
Love it.
A gang of armed robbers finds a safe haven in a secluded village crammed with witches.
Can't get any more in there.
No,
need a shoehorn.
Only to encounter the bizarre, the unexpected, and the occult. Can they save themselves and the rest of the world from the next witch apocalypse?
I am watching this immediately when we are done with this podcast. That looks and sounds amazing.
I love it.
Holy crap, dude. I've never... Man, we're really cracking it wide open.
Mm-hmm. Santiago Segura is in that too.
Yep, I see him.
Dude. Oh, that's right. He was in Blade 2. I kind of remember him from Blade 2.
I don't know if I saw Blade 2.
Oh, Blade 2 was actually pretty good.
Which one has Ryan Reynolds in it?
That was the last one. That one was not so good.
Eat the suck of the deek. Now I'm going to try to we should not try any accent ever.
I couldn't tell if you were trying to do Spanish or if it went straight into Italian.
No, that's just how it came out, and I regretted it immediately. Okay, cool.
All right. We have to find all of this Alex de la Iglesia.
Yep.
Alex of the Julio Iglesias. That's his English version of his name.
Oh, God.
We have to find all of his films.
The only Spanish I know is Manuel from Faulty Towers, so I can't. I'm not doing this. Yeah, he was in Pacific Rim too, I think. Mm-hmm. Okay.
All right.
That's what I was kind of thinking is has Guillermo scooped this guy up to be in his movies too?
Oh, he should have. Had to.
Well, he was in Pacific Rim, so.
Mm-hmm. Moving forward now, please watch these movies.
All we are doing is setting it up. You guys have to do some work too. It's a two-way street.
These are our picks, whether you like them or not.
Yeah. Sorry, guys, but we had to lay down the law.
All right, now what you got for me?
Okay, so my wife and I last night watched Fat Man, which I was glad that when I said it to you last week, you had no idea what I was talking about.
Oh, no, you were telling me to watch it, and I totally ignored you, didn't I?
Yes, you did. You were very dismissive, and when I hung up, I was like, that motherfucker never listened to anything I've ever said. Anyway.
Fat Man 2020 starring Mel Gibson.
Mel is in there. He is making his comeback in a series of B movies. He got canceled a couple of years ago, and now he is, I want to say everything that he has been in the last few years has kind of been, he's not quite Nicolas Cage level of, just doing literally anything that, comes up. But it's pretty close.
Okay.
Now, having said that, I am enjoying him in some lower budget movies. What was the one where he was like tough guy on a motorcycle, trying to save his daughter? It was kind of like Taken, but like a road, like a Mad Max Taken.
Bloodfather?
Yes, that one. I kind of liked that.
I did see that. That wasn't bad.
Yeah. So keep that in your head. That's kind of the level we're at.
Okay.
It's like Toys a little bit with Robin Williams. And plus, like the TV show from Scrooged, The Night the Reindeer Died, where Lee Majors comes in and has to save Santa's workshop.
Oh, I love it.
It's a little like that. Mostly like that. It doesn't come right out and like kind of hit you over the head with it, but you find out in the first 15 or 20 minutes that Mel Gibson is Santa Claus. His name's Chris.
Dun, dun, dun.
Like how they build up the plot, he explains it all in a speech to the elves later on.
Okay, so there are elves.
But there are elves, and they appear to be mythical type creatures.
Okay.
Mel Gibson does not. Mel Gibson looks like Mel Gibson if he was like a farmer. He also kind of looks like a werewolf because he has let his hair.
Are these elves, are these little people?
No. Well,
or are they made to look like little people?
They're made to look slightly smaller, but not little person size. Not quite that small. But yes, they are smaller.
I'm scrolling through here and there's like Elf 152.
They're all numbered, and they say that that's for efficiency.
All right.
Number 7 is the guy he's kind of like the foreman of the workshop and stuff. Locations in this movie were kind of weird. I think he lives right next to the kind of giant barn that is the workshop.
Okay.
I guess Santa has kind of fallen on hard times. He's paid by the government for what he does.
Which government?
The U.S. government.
Okay.
Okay.
Read off the description on this.
Maybe that would be faster than me just bungling through this, because there's just a lot to kind of deal with. The director is Isham Nelms.
Yeah.
Could not tell you what. It's like a bad Scrabble hand. I don't know.
He directed Waffle Street.
Oh,
yes,
I love
I know
Waffle
exactly.
Street. Making me hungry right now. I've never heard of that.
Nope.
Night of the Dog. Okay, so I assume he is a new young director.
Good assumption. Okay, read this off.
Okay, a rowdy is how they...
Rowdy?
Rowdy is how they describe old Saint Nick. A rowdy, unorthodox Santa Claus is fighting to save his declining business. Meanwhile, Billy, a neglected and precocious 12-year-old, hires a hitman to kill Santa after receiving a lump of coal in his stocking. Okay? Now,
right.
The best part of this whole damn movie is that assassin is Walton Goggins, who is a maniac, I assume, in real life and in this movie.
Okay.
He might be my new favorite actor. He is so good in everything that he is in.
I mean, I only know him from the Hateful Eight.
Hateful Eight. He was also in Django, I think. I think I first saw him in Eastbound and Down. Mm-hmm. And hearing my mother is addicted to Justified. It is not a show anymore. I think she has gone back and watched the whole thing a couple of times.
Wow.
But anyway, so Walton Goggins in that is like Timothy Oliphant's high school friend who is now like leading a life of crime. Anyway, it's supposed to be great. Haven't seen it.
He's been in a lot of stuff.
Yeah, he's on fire lately. He's in everything. So this kid hires him. Okay, so
how does he hire him? I mean, what does this kid have?
Okay, so this kid is like a
like Richie Rich?
Richie Rich, exactly. He lives with his grandmother, I think. That plot is like really thin. He's like a loveless little overachiever and has to have first place in everything. And when he doesn't, like he's called Walton Goggins before.
Okay.
They have a relationship together. This kid's 12.
Wow.
But so
who has he paid to have taken out before?
Well, a girl beats him at a science fair and Walton Goggins kidnaps her, and they kind of do the scene from Lethal Weapon where they have a battery and like her feet are in water.
Oh my God.
It's that kind they don't electrocute her, but they just scare the shit out of her.
Wow.
And I should say that this is a comedy. I'm going to do air quotes comedy.
It does say action, comedy, fantasy.
It is. And maybe I need to see it again to really like, I'm just so focused on Mel Gibson because he is like almost in disguise because he has a giant hair and a giant beard.
Yes.
He has a sleigh.
He looks great.
Yes. Now, I should say this is a good juxtaposition to the newest Christmas Chronicles, the one with Kurt Russell, because they are playing a very similar, like they're, action stars that are cast as Santa.
Mm-hmm.
But this is like on the dark end of the spectrum, and Kurt's, staying on the lighter side of it,
Maybe we should get them together and do Santa versus Santa.
A two-hander where they're like buddy cops, but like...
Ooh.
Okay.
Ooh.
Well, we'll talk about that later.
Yep. Yeah. Taking notes right now.
Right. Anyway, so there's a Mrs. Claus. There's a sleigh. The whole movie is, there has to be some conflict. So the movie is Mr. and Mrs. Claus and the whole like workshop are kind of in a slump because there's a speech that Mel Gibson gives about probably the first quarter of the movie. And he's basically looking at the camera and saying, we're in this position because kids have lost their
belief. Maybe it's like taking away your magic powers by not believing.
Exactly. They're cynical, and he doesn't lay it on that thick, but you get the idea,
Ungrateful bastards.
Yeah. Right. There should have been more kid violence in this movie, like the movie that you did. That's what this podcast is. We are a anti-child podcast now. No, not really. But when you see this kid in this, it's like, yeah, I hope Mel Gibson just like.
And I know you don't want to spoil anything because this just came out like November 24th.
Yeah,
I'm like, you hopped on this one quick.
Yeah. Well, it was because I was like, okay, what's the most insano sounding, one? And this just happened to pop up. So also, I should say, how did we watch it? I don't remember. I think you can rent it on Amazon.
It says, watch on Prime Video, rent and buy from $5.99.
Okay.
So this will be one that you're going to have to purchase because it is so new and they want to make their money back now.
Yes. It's worth the rental price. We had fun watching it.
Yeah, I want to see it.
So long story short, Santa basically is like a contractor for the military. Don't ask any questions. I'm not going to go past that. So the military kind of comes in and says, you're working for us now. And now you can kind of like, you know, make ends meet. And because he still has to deliver for Christmas, you know, they're making toys. I mean, come on. The plot's pretty thin. And all I wanted from it was a long, prolonged gun battle with Walton Goggins at the end, and it did not disappoint in that in that aspect. So that's what you're getting with this. But you're right. I don't want to go too that. That's the setup, and you guys should really rent it and watch it because it's pretty good.
That sounds like a load of freaking fun.
Yeah. It made me realize how much I love Mel Gibson. He really is great. His voice in this is almost, he growls every word. And I know he has for years, but he's getting up there, you know, he's closing in on.
I don't know. You want to add it up? How old is he now? He's 64.
Yeah. Yeah. He still looks great. But like I said, he's like, I want to say this is filmed in Canada. I could be completely wrong. He's got like 3 hoodies on at all times and everybody's all bundled up.
Did you realize that Mel Gibson's name was Mel Columcille Gerard Gibson?
What?
Columcille.
Okay, I'm reading that right now. He was born in New York.
Yeah.
The 6th of 11 children.
That's insane.
I realize now I do not know a thing about him except that I thought he was Australian. Yeah. Is he?
Mel and his family moved to Australia in the late 1960s.
Okay. Wow. But yeah, I mean, you know, he's Mad Max. You can't really, he's just Mad Max. It's like, I think I was explaining it to my wife while I was watching it. I mean, like, not only is he an actor, but they're at the end of the, you know, like in the 90s, he was directing those giant, like, you know, Braveheart and The Patriot. And
he was raking
huge.
Well, Passion of the Christ probably made him.
Oh, yeah, The Passion.
A ton of money. Yeah.
Yeah, another horror movie based around. Jesus, that thing. That was a very gory movie. Did you ever see it?
Oh, yeah. I watched it. It said here, due to the worldwide recession in 2008, his personal fortune is reported to have declined from around $900 million to a paltry $650 million.
Jesus.
So he might be hurting.
I mean, he's been making movies forever. He looks like Wolverine in this movie, honestly. And he has like a healing factor because he's Santa. I don't want to give too much away.
Interesting.
If he had knives that came out of his hands, I would have bought it.
You know, he's only starred in 66 films.
Huh.
Directed 8. He directed a Man Without a Face.
Oh, right. I remember that.
Yeah, it was a Billy Idol song, right?
Guy without a face. Oh, we have fun on this podcast.
This is exactly what I wanted to hear from you.
What is the name of that song? It's not Guy Without a Face. I don't know. Conspiracy Theory? I think that's where that was in 97. That's where he started to go a little off the rails.
That was like the true him coming out?
Yes, exactly.
That was a great movie for him, too.
Yeah, really. And you know, that's the thing is that I feel like he hasn't got my Man Without a Face. He doesn't have a lot of movies that don't turn into action movies, you know?
Right. All right. Well, that's cool. I will have to check that one out. Really, that looks like a lot of fun.
It's good. Walton Goggins you need to see everything he's in because he's a lunatic.
All right. So I'm going to go on to my last film here. And I'm sorry if this is kind of a downer after all the fun we've been having.
Great.
And maybe I shouldn't even bring it up, but I'll throw it out there because it is on this list from Bloody Disgusting. Please go check out this list. It was last year's list. It is awesome.
Pretty comprehensive. There are a ton of movies.
And it gives a little synopsis on every one of them. We need to check that out. But I watched a movie from 2015 called Follow.
Okay.
And it reads, a man who receives an early Christmas present from his girlfriend blacks out only to wake up in a terrifying nightmare.
Okay.
It's kind of boring. It goes on for a little bit. I mean, it starts off, it's mysterious. We'll say that.
Okay.
Okay. And it's listed as a horror thriller. It's got a weird aura about it. Okay. And I won't tell you a whole lot about it just because, if you want to go check this out, you can. This guy, the main character, his name is Noah Segan.
Okay.
And he's kind of weaselly and kind of gets pushed around nice and easy, but he was also in Knives Out.
Okay.
He was in Looper.
Oh.
And he was in Star Wars episode, The Last Jedi.
Okay.
As an X-Wing pilot. More importantly, the director of this is Owen Edgerton.
Oh.
No, it's not who you're thinking of.
It's not the brother of the guy from... I'm sure it's not.
No. This guy doesn't have a whole lot under his belt. But I was looking at this Noah Segan, all right, because Knives Out was directed by Ryan Johnson, right?
Okay.
Who also did Looper and The Last Jedi.
Okay.
And I think he also did Brick.
Oh, cool.
Yes, Ryan Johnson also did Brick. I have never seen Brick.
Oh, it's good. It's good.
But this guy is in it as well. Noah Segan is in all 4 of these movies that were directed by Ryan Johnson. I thought that was interesting.
Okay.
But he plays this kind of Weasley guy. He's basically a bartender who has a overbearing girlfriend who doesn't like to leave the house. And they kind of set that up with one freaking line in the film. And maybe that's why nobody goes looking for her. I'm not going to say anything else about that.
Okay.
But most notably, this guy is in this rental house that has a basement, and his landlord is none other than Don Most.
Donnie Most?
You may not recognize Don Most until you see his face and said, holy shit, that's Ralph Mouth from Happy Days.
I knew you were going to say that. Oh, boy.
I recognized him. I was like, who the hell is this guy when I'm watching the film? And I'm like, oh,
for sure.
But of course it is. It's just his hair's a little lighter. That's it.
He looks exactly the same.
Exactly the same. Just the hair's lighter.
That is wild.
Very wild.
Does he die by the end of it? Because...
would that be a selling point for you?
I used to watch Happy Days, and I'm just... there's so many times I just wanted Fonzie to just start beating the crap out of him.
That's good.
Okay. Interesting.
So
can we just stop the podcast now? Because
we can.
We've reached.
That's it. I don't want to spoil it because it's a newer film. If you want to see something that really there's to say anything about Christmas is.
Oh yeah.
The early present his girlfriend gives him is a gun.
Okay.
That obviously has the ability to never have to be reloaded.
Right. See that gun a lot in movies. The little still of the movie with the the match in front of her face is kind of creepy looking.
That's kind of creepy looking. It's an okay movie.
Okay.
There's something strange though. There's a boy. I say boy because that's why he's listed in the movie as credited the boy. His name is Southern Longoria.
Okay.
Okay. And it says in his profile that he attended McCallum Fine Arts Academy as a vocal major.
I don't even know what that means. What does that mean?
That means that he sings in the freaking movie.
Oh.
But it's awkward.
Mm-hmm.
No, this guy singing Christmas tunes. He comes over by the guy's house and he says, "Do you want to hear a song for $1?" And the guy gives him a $10 bill because that's all he has. So the kid keeps coming back and singing Christmas tunes in front of his house.
I would just get off my porch. I have a gun.
Exactly.
I have a gun pointed at you.
I'm not going to say anything demeaning here, but you want
to.
I want to. Know that I'm not a bad person. I say bad things sometimes.
Yeah, it's the little bird in your mouth that says horrible things. I think that's from Reno 911. He's one of the boys in Dead Girl.
Yes. Noah Segan.
That was a really fucked up movie.
Very fucked up movie. This is very reminiscent.
Okay.
Per se of Dead Girl.
Gotcha. Oof, man, just looking at the pictures of that movie, I don't know if I'll ever watch that again.
And I want to say, if you notice, Dead Girl also has Michael Bowen in it.
Oh.
Just want to bring that up.
Yeah, right.
Now you might want to see it again.
Yes, I do like him. Looper was pretty cool, too. I did not expect to like that movie, and then I ended up getting kind of into it.
All right.
Oh, he's also in Tales of Halloween. I think I watched that.
Did not watch that.
I think we started it and like fell asleep or something. But it's got Mick Garris in it.
Mm-hmm, yeah.
And Lynn Shay. Anyway, it's not the movie we're talking about. But.
So yeah, this guy Noah Segan, he's been in some things. I mean, he looks like he has a decent career going as long as he keeps following around Rian Johnson as well. Right. He's in a movie called The Pale Door, which is high on my list of things to watch. I watched the trailer for it, and it looks
dude, yes,
riveting.
It kind of looks like a Western, like a horror Western, which is also a like subgenre that I really like.
Anyway, Follow, not bad. Is it really a Christmas movie?
Oh yeah, I keep forgetting that we had
a theme.
Yeah, a theme.
So that's the fourth movie. Like I said, I'm going in overdrive on this list from Bloody Disgusting. I can't wait to continue down this road because not that I hate Christmas.
It's not.
Hate's a strong word. I loathe Christmas. Yeah. There we go.
It's no Halloween, that's for sure.
But maybe we can make it the new Halloween.
Yes. It's what we're trying to do, isn't it? Just kind of subvert.
I think so.
So are we going to do this again the next time, or will that be, is this our only Christmas show?
Let's continue.
Okay, cool.
Let's go down another one. We'll do just like we did for Halloween. Let's do a 2-part series, just diving into as many Christmas horror films or just random films, whatever you want to watch.
Great.
The door's open, but I like this list from Bloody Disgusting, and I think I can pick at least 4 more out that will make my list for next week.
There's a couple of, like we saw ATM. Did you see Await Further Instructions?
No.
It had a lot of hype when it first came out, and I did what I tell myself not to do. I kind of clicked around on it and just looked at the like special effects and stuff. But it's pretty damn creepy. Some of these are like Christmas is just mentioned, it's not even like a plot point. And I think it's Christmas in this one, but it literally is just so a bunch of people get together in a house and have stuff happen to them.
I will have to check that one out too.
It's pretty creepy. There was another one too that I watched recently, but not for the podcast or anything. I just happened to see it. The Lodge. Have you watched The Lodge?
The Lodge, yes.
It was a real downer. I know a lot of these are like dealing with murder and stuff, but it was pretty depressing. A Christmas Horror Story looks insane and has Shatner in it. So that is a no-brainer. We both have to watch that.
Gotta watch that.
That's our assignment for next time. We're going to watch a Christmas Horror Story and talk about it. Just to get Shatner involved.
Get the Shat on.
Yeah, the Shat is what he loves to be called.
All right. Well, I'm telling you, this is a lot of fun.
Yeah, we've really we've done some good work here.
I'm digging these little movie marathons that we do just because I'm not watching movies that I've ever seen before, and it's making me take a chance on certain things. Sure. Like the Day of the Beast.
Oh man,
I'm sorry, that's a highlight.
Yes, I agree, and I think I'm going to find that immediately and watch it again.
And this director's other films, I have got to put that on my list of must watches.
I mean, what is more enjoyable than a horror comedy? That guy is almost on Sam Raimi territory, being like melding the two together.
But I watched that little documentary, or most of it, and talking about horror comedies, and with the trivia that we had on Forbidden World, how that during the screening of Forbidden World, when Roger Corman smacked the guy that was laughing, and how that guy threw a soda on him at the end. And there's a little bit more into that of how Roger Corman turned around, he threw the soda onto his back, and I guess it wasn't from the balcony, it was from behind him. And Roger Corman turned around and had his fists raised for a brief second, and then saw it was that guy that he punched earlier, and was just like, okay, we're even. And just kind of turned around and walked out.
I love just the idea of Roger Corman getting into a fight with someone is like, it's like, I never want to find out that Roger Corman was like mean or an asshole to anybody, because he seems like kind of friendly grandpa a little bit.
Yeah.
You know?
Anyway, let's wrap this up the way we always do. Let's talk about where can they find all of our bullshit?
We are called The Moratorium, and you can find us on Twitter. What are the kids into nowadays? LinkedIn.
I started a LinkedIn profile for us, and
I don't understand LinkedIn.
I don't either, and so I've created a profile, but it's as far as I went, there is absolutely nothing on LinkedIn.
Okay, good. No LinkedIn, guys. Don't even look for it. But we have merch. Where's our merchandise available at?
It's on Teespring. You can find the link on our website at themoratorium.com.
The T is for t-shirt. I don't want to spoil anything, but it is.
Still check out Krista's blog, man. She keeps pumping this stuff out. She's already working on another one. Awesome. And it's pretty exciting. This last one, the Butcher, the Mad Butcher.
Ooh.
It's a lot of fun, a lot of good stuff in there.
I like it.
Find our Facebook group. Our group is actually growing, and Joe's kind of taking over the reins on that to put up some good stuff every day. Check out our YouTube channel, because I'm creating more and more lists of all the crap kind of behind the scenes stuff, video shorts and shit that are related to the episodes. Cool. So start look at those playlists, and you can go down a rabbit hole of different videos and shit that we've watched to prepare for this.
Awesome. Will Alan Fudge be represented at all, or would you say
he should be represented as the all-powering Fudge machine. The Oz of Fudge.
Yeah, he's kind of like a benevolent overlord.
Hey, I love that.
Alan Fudge, benevolent, I can't even say it.
You said it great the first time.
Benevolent overlord, Alan Fudge. In Fudge we trust. How about we get that hashtag going?
All right.
I don't know. That's probably something completely different that we don't want anything to do with.
Well, look it up.
Yeah, look it up, guys. We're not going to do all the work.
All right, let's shut this bitch down.
Thanks for listening.
Got anything else to add?
No. Well, other than that is Gary Busey in The Gingerbread Man. I just want everybody to know that he is under the makeup in Gingerbread Man. So
that is Ginger Dead Man.
Ginger Dead Man. Excuse me. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm fired from the podcast. I'm taking an early retirement. You're on your own, Tim.
All right.
Bye.
Thanks for joining me on
it wasn't
the moratorium.
It wasn't as fun as you thought it was. Bye.
Nope. All right. Say goodnight, podcast.
Good night, podcast. Honk shoe, honk shoe.
Bye-bye.
You've been listening to part 1 of the Christmas Carnage. Tune in next week when we do it all over again with part 2. I love these movie marathons. Be sure to check out our website for merch, movie links, and more. And grab the director's cuts while you still have a chance. This is the last week before they go behind the paywall. If you have any movie suggestions or just want to tell us how much we really suck, you can contact us at moviemoratorium@gmail.com. Thanks for listening, and long live VHS.
That's probably in the director's cut.